You know, it's funny how sometimes the health advice that really hits home doesn't come from like an official report. It often comes from someone unexpected, maybe someone you see is full of energy, always on the go. But, well, nobody's immune, right?
Absolutely. Even the most high-profile people face these things.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, that's exactly what we're doing, a deep dive into some really important health news, and it comes from celebrity chef Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, quite a story.
He's just been through something pretty major, health-wise, and he's using his, well, huge platform to send a very direct message. An urgent one, really.
And that's what makes it interesting, isn't it? Using that visibility.
Exactly. So our mission today isn't just to, report the news. We want to unpack the specific health stuff Ramsay brought up.
Connected to that other incident he shared too, the bike crash.
Right, that previous scare. And pull out what's genuinely useful, maybe even life-saving for you listening. Think of it as getting the key insights, understanding why this stuff matters. Okay, let's unpack this.
Let's do it.
So first things first, August 30th, 2025. Gordon Ramsay, he's 58 now.
Still seems full of energy, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
But he revealed to his, 19.2 million Instagram followers that he'd had surgery.
Okay.
The reason? A basal cell carcinoma, which is, a type of skin cancer. It's a big deal, and he was really open about it.
That takes guts, sharing something like that so publicly.
It really does. He posted these two photos. Very striking.
Right, I saw this.
The first one shows him with this pretty big bandage on the side of his jaw, kind of under his ear.
Yeah.
And the second photo, that one showed the stitches after they removed the carcinoma. It wasn't hidden away. Very stark.
No hiding it, just this is the reality.
Exactly. And the message he put with it. Classic Ramsay. Direct, urgent, but with that bit of humor too.
Oh yeah, what'd he say?
He wrote, and this is a direct quote, "Please don't forget your sunscreen this weekend."
Simple, direct.
Very. And then he adds, "I promise you it's not a facelift. I'd need a refund."
Huh. Okay, yeah, that sounds like him.
Right. But that honesty, that sort of unfiltered message, it really cuts through, doesn't it? Makes you listen.
It really does. And what's fascinating here is the condition itself, basal cell carcinoma.
Right. Tell us about that. What exactly is it?
Well, according to the Mayo Clinic, it's actually the most common type of skin cancer, by far.
Really? Most common.
Yeah. And it typically shows up as like a white waxy lump or maybe a brown scaly patch. Sometimes it can look like a pimple that just won't heal.
Yeah.
And crucially, it almost always pops up on sun-exposed skin. Think face, ears, neck, scalp, shoulders, back.
Which fits perfectly with where Ramsay's was, right? Side of the jaw, near the ear.
Exactly, direct link. And the #1 preventative measure, limiting sun exposure, using sunscreen.
Seems so simple.
It does, but it's surprisingly easy to forget or maybe underestimate. What's also interesting is that while it rarely, spreads to other parts of the body like melanoma can,
Okay, that's good.
it can be locally destructive, it can grow deeper and damage the tissue around it, even bone, if it's left untreated. So early detection is really, really key.
So even though it's common and less likely to spread, it's definitely not minor. Needs serious attention. Those stitches looked pretty significant.
Absolutely. It often grows slowly, which might make people put off getting it checked. They think, oh, it's just a spot.
It'll go away.
But it doesn't. And delaying treatment can mean more extensive surgery, potential disfigurement. Treatment is usually surgical removal, like Ramsay had. But sometimes other methods like scraping, freezing, or radiation are used.
And his big message, don't forget your sunscreen. We hear all the time, don't we?
We do. It's almost background noise sometimes.
But how many of us are actually, really consistent with it every day?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? There are myths, too. People think, oh, I tan, I don't burn, so I'm fine. Or it's cloudy, I don't need it.
Guilty. I've definitely thought that on cloudy days.
Right. But the damage is cumulative. It builds up over your whole life. UVA rays, UVB rays, they're there even when it's overcast. They go through glass.
So basically, all those years of maybe not being careful as a kid or young adult, that can catch up with you later.
Precisely. It's why these cancers are more common in older adults or people who've spent a lot of time outdoors. Ramsay's 58. That's decades of potential sun exposure, especially with his lifestyle.
Makes sense. So his warning isn't just about, one sunny weekend.
Not at all. It's a reminder about lifelong vigilance.
And the reaction online was huge. People weren't just sending well wishes, they were thanking him.
For raising awareness, yeah.
Exactly. One person commented something like, "Glad you're okay, Gordon, and thanks for the reminder about sun safety." It really shows the power someone like him has.
Definitely.
It makes you stop and think about your own habits, doesn't it? Like, how good are you listening right now about sunscreen? Especially when you're just out and about, not necessarily sunbathing.
Yeah, it's easy to let it slide until something like this happens to someone high profile.
You know, what's really striking, thinking about Ramsay, is that this isn't actually the first time he's used a personal health scare to send a message.
You're talking about the bike accident.
Exactly. Here's where it gets really interesting, seeing this pattern.
Yeah, that was pretty bad too, wasn't it?
Oh, incredibly serious. This was last year, 2024. He called it a harrowing bike crash in an interview with Men's Health UK.
Harrowing. Strong word.
And the details. Wow. He said he hit a pothole, his bike spun 180 degrees and just threw him into the air.
Oof, nasty.
And apparently right after, his first thought was, like, to fix his bike chain, just get up and go.
A bit of shock, maybe.
Must have been. But then he realized his helmet was split right in half.
Whoa. Okay, that's serious.
Yeah. He said he saw blood, his vision went blurry, and he honestly thought he was going to pass out.
Terrifying. Just imagining that.
And the recovery sounded brutal. He talked about needing help with just basic things like getting dressed. His assistant, Justin, had to help him.
Really brings it home, doesn't it? The loss of independence, even temporarily.
Totally. He said, and it's a very Ramsay quote, "I couldn't even put my effing socks and pants on."
Oh.
And he added, "I felt like a effing 95-year-old man. Asking a 30-year-old kid to put my effing underpants on was embarrassing." That level of raw honesty.
It makes the warning so much more powerful than just saying, wear a helmet. He's showing the consequence.
Absolutely. And he did show it. He posted a video message back in June last year showing this massive bruise covering almost half his torso.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. It was shocking.
Right. And in that video, he just pleaded with people. He said, honestly, I'm lucky to be here. You've got to wear a helmet.
He credited the helmet with saving his life, didn't he?
He did, very explicitly. He said, the helmet saved my life.
And if we connect this back to the skin cancer message, the bigger picture here is about how incredibly effective these personal stories can be.
Right. More than just statistics or official advice sometimes.
Yeah, I think so. When a public figure like Ramsay shares something so raw, so vulnerable, it's not just another PSA. A public service announcement. You know, those generic ads. This is different. This is someone real, someone maybe you admire or at least recognize sharing a genuine, painful experience.
Why do you think that resonates so much more? Is it just because he's famous?
Fame is part of it, sure. The halo effect, we trust or listen to people we admire. But it's also the relatability, the vividness.
Relatability? How so?
Well, we can imagine riding a bike. We can imagine being out in the sun. When he describes the crash, the injury, the difficulty dressing, it bypasses our logical defenses.
It hits you emotional.
Exactly. It taps into emotions, our sense of self-preservation, seeing that huge bruise or the stitches. It personalizes the risk. It shifts from accidents happen to this specific awful thing happened to him, and it could happen to me if I don't take this simple precaution.
Like the helmet, it's not just about avoiding a scrape. He was talking about potentially fatal injuries.
Absolutely. The data on helmets is crystal clear. They drastically reduce the risk of serious head injuries, concussions, skull fractures, traumatic brain injuries.
Things that can change your life forever.
No, end it. The forces in a crash, even a seemingly minor one, can be huge. A helmet works by absorbing and spreading that impact energy. Without it, well, the skull and brain take the full force.
And it matters what kind of helmet you get, right? It's not just any plastic hat.
That's a really important point. You need one that meets safety standards. Look for certifications like CPSC in the US or the European EN 178 standard.
Okay, CPSC or EN 178.
Right, that means it's been tested. And just as important is the fit. It needs to be snug, level on your head, straps fastened properly. It's not just gear, it's life-saving equipment.
It's kind of amazing how both these incidents, the skin cancer and the bike crash, totally different things. They both boil down to these really simple but critical preventative steps. Sunscreen, helmets.
Exactly. They're powerful reminders that these small, proactive things we can do, they can have massive consequences, life-saving consequences.
It really challenges that it won't happen to me feeling we all sometimes have.
Totally. That complacency bias, Ramsay's stories just cut right through that, showing vulnerability even in someone known for being tough and energetic.
And it's interesting that both things, putting on sunscreen, putting on a helmet, they take a tiny bit of effort, right? A moment of planning.
A tiny bit of friction.
Yeah. And that friction point is often where we fail, isn't it? We know we should, but hey,
Precisely. And that's why these stories work. They give you a powerful why to overcome that. When you hear Ramsay talking about needing help with his underwear or see that photo of the stitches.
Suddenly, the 5 seconds it takes to put on sunscreen seems pretty trivial.
Exactly. It reframes the inconvenience. It's not a chore anymore. It's an essential act of looking after yourself. It shows you what's potentially at stake if you skip it.
So wrapping this up, when we look back at these 2 messages from Gordon Ramsay, the main takeaways are just so clear.
Super clear.
He's given us these 2 really urgent warnings, straight from his own pretty rough experiences. First, sunscreen, every time, non-negotiable after that basal cell carcinoma.
Yep. Consistency is key there.
And second, helmets for cycling, absolutely essential.
Yeah.
After that terrifying crash. His stories, sometimes funny, sometimes really shocking, they just make these messages stick, don't they?
They really do. Far more than just reading a pamphlet.
And it brings up a big question for everyone listening, I think. You know, we see how easy it is to ignore these simple safety things until someone like Ramsay gives us a jolt. So how can we, just as individuals, get better at actually doing these things day in, day out? Making safety a priority before we get a scare.
That's the challenge, isn't it? Moving from awareness to consistent action. What other risks are we maybe downplaying in our own lives?
Right. What little things are we skipping because they feel like a hassle, thinking it won't happen to me?
It's about taking inspiration from stories like this, stories with real impact, and translating it into our own behavior.
So maybe the challenge for you, listening right now, is to think about one small change. One tiny thing you could start doing today.
Could be sunscreen, could be finally buying that helmet, could be something else entirely.
Just one proactive step to look after your own well-being, prompted by these powerful, honest accounts. Something to think about.